strong from Elevate ever since that second last half. It's going to take him down. Zed, what is he doing? Zed landing on top of his head and taking him down. Zed, phenomenal play out of him. And we, you know, the team of Zed, that was a strange double kill, but he does manage to pick it up.
Yeah, nice reflexes from Zed indeed, and Reedy also hitting up for the side of Elevate, going 23 and 16, 23 and 14 for Zed on your screen. Still on a 3-kill streak, just staying alive inside the hill, and it's going to be 10 seconds left on this hill. If they can secure it, they're going to be so close of closing this one out. Once again, we keep seeing such a strong hold of Elevate.
He is just not missing shots today on board with Zed as he does move into the central hard point, killing everything in his way. Nobody in control just yet, but Watson's going to pick up a couple of kills here. Is he going to be able to make a second? Not quite. Shawnee, though, he's going to be able to use that reactive armor. Board with Zed just trying to get a hold of this hard point. 3G are still hanging on, but here comes the pitch from Elevate. They're going to secure map number 1, 250 to 152.
Amazing work from the boys on Elevate. They didn't look really strong, but once again, they were able to come on top. Very impressive hard point. It was about 90 to 60 at some point, I do believe. So if you think about it, it's about 200 to 60 point.
Yeah, a really good second round of rotations from Elevate there. And just looking at the scoreboard, I'm sure we'll get that on your guys' screen in a second, but a really good game from them. And there you go, on your screens now. Zed, 28 and 15, 26 and 18 from Reedy as well. Scoreboard back up, Jonas. Jonas, why are you changing things? Put the scoreboard back on. Sorry, god damn it, French. 15 and 23 from Watson. It's not fantastic, but you know, it's irrelevant at this point. You know, you're picking up the important kills no matter what, especially if your team are winning by nearly 100 points. Look at the other side of things. Okay, quicker, going 21, 23 is all right from him, but we need to see a little bit more objective work from him. And if he isn't going to put the objective work in, then he needs to be making more kills than that. Search and destroy on Russia. Yeah, I think so. You know, we've quite often seen close games irrelevant of the scores, but that one, Elevate really started taking over towards the end. Their pinches when they moved into the hard point were very well coordinated, and it just worked out well for them. But the thing is, 3G were picking up a lot of scrap time, especially on that second one, on the first rotation, on the second hard point in the first rotation, I should say, sorry. Picked up a lot of scrap points, and they had the rotation towards Hangar as well. So they could have capitalized on that. Gunfights. Yeah, they did well, but it makes you wonder what changes in the second half of that to make them.
Well, I'll tell you what, Reedy and Zed hitting up really helped.
Yeah.
They really went huge at different points in the game, just picking up those very important and clutch kills inside the hill, all for the rotation. And, you know, sometimes it comes down to just one kill inside the hill, little things that could have gone differently, and all of a sudden it can become into 40 points on the hill. So small details, but here is the scary. So is that now we're going into S&D, and now I look at the players in Elevate, and I see Reedy, and I'm like, well, he should be going for the S&D.
They should be going for the S&D, but they've said they've struggled with S&D this weekend, and we've seen them struggle with S&D this weekend. Obviously, the Epsilon game is going to come to mind more than anything. They did close out that last map, albeit only 6-5. As we move into this next one, it is going to be Crusher, Search and Destroy. Let's have a look at those rest of those maps. Jonas, where do you see this game going from those maps?
Well,
I think 3G could win that uplink.
I do think 3G can win the uplink as well.
And they could win this S&D also.
Yeah, it's... honestly, it's really 50 for me, in my opinion. You know, our point going the way of Elevate, I'm not that surprised. But it's going to be pretty much like every map. I would favor Elevate for every single map, but I'm sitting on the fence here. I do believe that...
You're sitting on the fence. You've got no spine. Come on, give me a prediction.
I'll say Elevate will win 3-1 overall, and that 3G will pick up the uplink.
Okay. But I can get down with that.
I wouldn't be surprised if anything else happened, because I do believe that 3G is capable of beating Elevate in pretty much every single map. I would be surprised if they won the second half point there.
I can get down with that. I can get down with that, Jonas. As we do move into Crusher, Search and Destroy, and I said Scorch again. Then we just played Scorch. What do I mean? Crusher, Search and Destroy. As we go into it, and as the rig draft on your screen, just the standard thing that we do see.
Them old.
And yeah, just having a look at the teams. It's going to be K-Bars all around from Elevate.
Yeah, Currently on board with Zed, the most aggressive player on this Elevate lineup, playing so well during the first map. Is probably going to go for an aggressive push towards that B bomb site. Whole his team is acting as a unit, and he goes straight away. He's going to be taken down by Zerg, but the trade coming in.
Oh, really should be able to make this trade. He's going to be able to as well. Shawnee taken down quicker. Niall did pick up a kill on his way down, but Weeman left alive on his own. Going to make that first one. Is he going to make the second?
Reedy against women. Reedy definitely a lot of experience.
He's played that very well. Let's see which way this one's going to go, though. I'm looking at Reedy on my screen as well. These two.
Situation. This is very tense. It could be big if Weeman could get that 1v2, and he is. Very nice work for women. And surprisingly, they take this round, but they had a great push, very aggressive. Zed may be a little too aggressive on the right side, but it didn't matter because the trade came in. Very big work from Reedy, but he's left alone in that 1v1 situation, has no idea where Women is, and Women is going to be checking the bomb. Good job from Strategy. They really need to get this first point off the board for their own confidence.
Well, let's go on board with the attacking team now. So see what Niall's going to do with this bomb. And we've seen a lot of variation on this map, and that's why I really do actually like it. We don't always see the teams go towards B. And yeah, we've seen aggressive defense from Elevate. They now can read that, though. Although, yeah, okay, they've rushed over there, they've guessed it wrong. Now they're in a position where they can flank round. They found out the fact that they are planning over a day very, very quickly.
All right, Zerg, I'm looking at you, buddy. You've got the whole team of Elevate coming for you. They're hungry. They've got 30 seconds to find 4 players, and the first kill is going to come in from Shawnee, and he makes it 2.
Shawnee going to make the third as well. Is it going to be the ace for the Scotsman? Thinking about that. Bomb defuse already, but Reedy's going to take down quicker than you, and Elevate just sweep on through.
All right, Shawnee, you got it, buddies. Just gets in, gets 3 kills straight away. And Elevate, we've seen that time and time again. Teams just ticking as a unit in the defensive round, rather than going for these 2-1-1 strats that you used to see, one in the middle, one big bomb side.
About trades.
Exactly.
Yeah, they have to stick together. They do that every single time. But what I was saying is, I really do like this map because they do go different bomb sites. And it's not always concentrated on round 1, and then that can, you know, just mix things up a little bit. Yeah, you know, you have to play this one carefully, but we can see on the defense 3G are splitting a little bit. They're sending one guy towards A. He's not going to see anyone. But now this is an interesting push from Elevate. Are they going to catch them out in the middle of the map here? So it's just about not going to be spotted, but they're going to wrap round through middle towards B. Traded away.
This is not ideal for Elevate, where, sorry, 3G was in a really good position in to be able to read that. And just like that, they're going to pick round number 3 to lead 2-1 in this SND. And very nice read once again. I was looking at the minimap, the whole map. They went straight away, very aggressive on the B bomb side to make sure they had the information. They saw that Elevate wasn't pushing B, so they came around the back.
Yeah, they were going towards A, though. That was the thing. So then they just collided, and I think it was Niall who was left at B. And he did die, but I think somebody got taken down because he was there. And if he hadn't died, obviously that round would have went a lot easier for 3G. But if they'd managed to keep their guy alive, Elevate, then they would have been in a much better position to do that round, and they would have been able to push through the B. But we got stuck in because Niall was over a B.
Ooh, similar situation. Quicker is going to be such a good position to take that first blood. Shawnee is going to come in and get one. The trade's coming. It's a 2-on-2 situation. Weeman's going to pick up one more. Watson left alone in a 1v2 situation.
Yeah, he's going to get the hell out of Dodge, and does so. But they need to defend here. Watson not in a fantastic position. Zerg has the bomb for Team 3G.
Well, he's just hoping that someone comes in at this point. And it's going to be reversing roll with...
he needed that kill. Great shots towards there. Oh, and a really nice shot in the wee man's head. Watson did put bullets into Zerg as well. Zerg's health will have recovered now.
He's got plenty of time. 30 seconds to work with.
Let's go with Zerg. Oh, he's going to catch him, actually. Watson just completely outbraining both 3G members there. Really good shot on the wee man. Zerg has got no idea where he is, and the bomb is going to get defused. Really
nice shot from Watson indeed. And again, the strategy from 3G almost paying off. They went through the middle, Elevate. It's twice that we've seen them going as 4-man unit defending, but no one really checked around the back. And 3G was very fast in going through the middle and rotating around the back for that big bomb site, picking up the first kill, but it was not enough. Watson able to pick up that 1v2 and staying tied up with a 3G. It could have been a 3-1 lead for 3G, but, you know, Elevate keeping it close. We've had 2 1v2 in this game so far. 1 for 3G and 1 for Elevate as Reedy picks up the first kill on Quicker.
Yeah, picking up the snipes as they move towards B there. Reedy sitting in the
like
spawn.
this.
Yeah, let's go on board with Reedy as that bomb goes down.
Okay, has he seen anyone? He's been tagged up, so he's definitely been spotted. They're going to go around the back, and there was no information. But yeah, Shawnee once again kind of saving Elevate.
Yeah, Reedy going to come around the back there, and they know exactly where Niall is. Shot's going to come in, surely going to go down, and does so. And I like that from Reedy because, you know, Elevate know that if they come around the back there and they do get taken down from that side, then at least they've got that insurance policy with Reedy around the back. But Shawnee managed to pick up 2 kills as they did push towards him. Zed cleaning things up there.
And I'm just not sure in this round how they didn't manage to find out where Reedy was because he was tagged up, and surely they must have saw they went back to the B-bomb site, but he actually stayed hidden and managed to stay alive, and that was the defining factor for that 1v2 situation at the end because Niall had no idea where it was. Now it's going to be for the first time Elevated in the lead.
I like this play from 3G. Look, go on board with Quicker if we can quickly. Oh no, Elevate say no. Quicker they knew was not far off 4 members of Elevate jumping around the corner. They've sat back, yeah, they've sat back, and that's actually going to play out very, very nicely for them. Smart players coming out of 3G.
Yeah, that's very well played.
Elevate aren't going to have a clue what's going on here.
We've seen that happening a lot as well. We didn't used to see it that much, but because again,
when
they
hang back in the spawn, it's just about rotating around the map at the right times and getting the bomb down and then being able to try and defend it.
Shawnee, you've done it once before. Retake, triple kills. Can you do it again?
Retake. They are well and truly dug in here. The game fights are going to come in. The trades do come in though as well. Shawnee getting the kill onto Quicker. Does have that reactive armor. Zerg gets a kill on the Watson. He's going to get pinched surely. How the hell has Shawnee got through? Weeman takes down his teammate. Last guy alive is going to be Reedy. He's going to be able to make the kill as well. Weeman unfortunately killing his teammate Zerg there. And that's going to be 4-2 now. That's just an unfortunate situation.
Mistake.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, he might have just jumped in front of his gun, so I mean, we can maybe forgive him because he's played so well for Team 3G.
I'll forgive him. I don't know if his teammates will. That was an important round.
It was a very important
round.
But
look at Reedy, very smart plays, just hiding in a dead body, making sure that he could get that extra split second that's going to allow him to get the first shot in, and he's going to pick up that 1v1. Again, coming down to those clutch situations, the experience of a man like Reedy is invaluable for Team Elevate. It's going to be Team Elevate now, 2 rounds in the lead.
Reedy's using his payload. Let's see. I think he might be using, overdrive. He's going to get in there very, very quickly. But, I mean, if anything, it is a little bit wasted.
Yeah,
he gets there at the same time as his team.
Completely wasted.
I think it was just there to cover mid. And he has gotten himself into a good position here. But, once again, 3G read the wrong bomb site as they do try to push on through. But it's the best way to push. I understand why they push through and get aggressive through there, because as soon as they spot there's nothing really going on at B, it's the easiest way to take the site back. Reedy needs to get out of there with an E-Rad.
Well, a very different scenario than earlier when the bomb was planted at A. All the players from Elevate are hiding in the back. Watson's going to pick up the first kill. He's finally going to be taken down, and what a great use of rewind from Zed. Going to be able to take that kill. Zed going to find 2, and this is it. Very nice defense from the boys on Elevate after planting that bomb. 5-2 up. It's not looking great for 3G once again.
No, and Reedy coming in there with that E-Ride, never going to miss that gunfight.
And Zed really making the difference.
I mean, Zerg nearly got a hold of a couple more kills there as well, and I think Zed, that's when their payloads come into fruition. You know, that's when they become really valuable. We can see Zerg on the other side of things is using his. Let's see if we can go on board with Zerg. He's just done the same thing as what Reedy's done, pushing through mid-map. And they're going to wrap all the way around. It's actually going to work out really nicely for 3G.
Watson. But Watson wins a great position to find Quicker. He was just expecting it.
Why is Quicker not with his team there? Why is nobody able to trade that?
All right.
And suddenly they're going to know what's going on. Elevate are cutting on to 3G's plan on ball with Watson as they look to try and close this one out. Weeman does answer back, taking down Shawnee. They're stuck in the worst position possible here. This is not where you want to be. You're not anywhere near bomb sites. You need to rotate now. Elevate know exactly where they are. Weeman does have that reactive armor available. I think he's going to need it this round.
Reedy is in a great position to just make sure they're not going to be able to rotate back to B, which is exactly what 3G is trying to do. And Niall is going to be the one coming in for a gunfight. He's going to be able to take a huge kill against Reedy. Now 3G stand a chance in that maybe last round. Watson again left alone in a 1v2 situation. He was able to do it earlier. Is he going to be able to close it out?
If he can get one kill here, he's on his active. This is a massive round. Oh, he's just going to slide by the wrong side of the wall there.
That Call of Duty timing, Chris, once again coming into full effect. Watson has no idea where they are.
They're just going to back off from the shots are going to be fired, and that is now spelling curtains here for Watson. Going to be able to try and do something here. If you can manage to pull off this round now, it'll be absolutely miraculous. Going to go for the first kill, going to get the second. Not going to use it this round.
I got a little scared for a second. I
think in that situation, it's hard to process using it. I think he maybe had to preempt that. At the same time,
yeah, Niall had that kill every day.
Would it have been a guaranteed gunfight if he popped that active camo, because we know how powerful it is?
I'm not sure, because Niall literally saw the slide and the movement that Watson was going towards, so he was definitely going to pre-shot it. Where it just became a little scary is when Watson was able to hide behind that rock, and for a second Niall had no vision on it. But anyway, round for 3G, they're still alive, but is it for long as Watson picks up the first kill?
Weeman had his payload available as well as they push on through here. We do see Watson, who does have his. Shawnee takes down Niall quicker, does answer back at 2 versus 3. Watson currently using his now. So that would have been active camo as well. He's going to push on through.
Huge kill.
Shawnee taking down Zerg, and suddenly Quicker is left alive all on his own to try and help 3G get a map back, but it's not going to happen. Elevate goes 6-3 up, win the map. 2-0 is now the score, and looking like they want to get in that winner's bracket final, Jonas.
Not gonna happen so far for Team 3G, as they are not looking great. Backs against the wall. They kept it close for a second, but you know, when it came to those clutch situations, really able to win that 1v1 gunfight, and Watson with the 1v2 definitely made a difference into that S&D. Looking at the scoreboard, huge map from Shawnee. We saw it during that 4v4 retake on the A bomb side. He was able to pick up 3 kills to get the defuse, and that was pretty much the first round when we saw the real elevate into the S&D. From that round onwards, that was a new elevate into the S&D.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot better from the S&D from elevate here. So good work by them. They're going to be able to take it. Moving into this uplink now. As I said, I still think 3J could take this map. We'll see though, because I think the team that's turning up from elevate is a team that could potentially go on and win this event the way that they're playing currently.
Yeah,
they're making 3G look very, very average, I think.
And they are,
and they are average.
No. They are making 3G look average, but at the same time, is 3G playing their best? I don't feel like I've seen the 3G that bit orbit so far.
Yeah, we haven't
that
seen
fire.
That fast and front of gameplay in the hardpoint really didn't work out for them. The S&D was, I mean, it was comfortable from elevate. There was a couple of rounds that were clutched up, of course, but I mean, that's just showing like 3G maybe need to be closing those rounds out, making it a lot closer. You know, one round that you win is another one for you and one less for the other team, so it's a lot closer game.
It's a 2 rounds difference.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, moving into this uplink, we need to see more from them, especially. For me, I think Weeman has been performing all right, but I need to see the rest of the team step up. Niall, especially, we can see more from Niall when he can get heated, when he can start getting kills on the board. He's a strong character in that team. There's Weeman on your screens. We need a big map from him, as we see.
And they seem a little down. I'm not sure how the morale is inside the boost.
Yeah, that's when they need Quicker to say, you know, he's the guy that has been in these situations. He's the guy that has been in the teams that have played well and placed well. He needs to now be that guy to say, right, come on, there's 3 more maps that we could win here. We know we can do better than this. If they can do better than this, they could potentially match elevate. Let's have a look at those 3 more maps that are going to be coming up. Uplink on Precinct, if we need it. Hardpoint Retaliation, that's a map that I would probably still favor elevate on.
Exactly.
But
even if they can get this one, I don't see elevate.
I think they're better on the rotations, and their long range gunfights are stronger.
And same if it goes down to throwback once again, it goes down to those long lanes, and I still favor elevate. So it's going to be a tough task for 3G. If they want to take it to me, they really need a strong moment so they can get some momentum going, some fire in the boost. We've seen their faces. They don't really seem very hyped or motivated. Their heads are down, and this is definitely not the attitude that you want to see against a team like Elevate, who is extremely confident in their win.
I mean, this is not the last we'll see of them if they do lose this. Of course, this is the winners bracket semi-final here at Gfinity. Uplink on Precinct up. And Jonas, I'm going to ask you for a score prediction.
It's going to be a close one. I would be surprised if there was more than 2, maybe 4 point difference, but I will still Despite what I said earlier, I'm going to say Elevate. I just don't think that 3G have it in them with the way they've been playing. They seem, again, it comes down to their attitude. If you look at their faces, it doesn't look like the face of people that believe they can win.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be disappointed because they're two maps down, but for me, I do agree with you in a way. You know, they don't look pumped in that booth. They need their leader quicker than you to say something to them. But, you know, 3G are on the preferred side, if you like, so they need to get a lead in this first half. I think if they don't, it's going to be curtains.
Shirley's not going to be able to go for the one. Is it going to go in? And it's not. It's going to be a miss. Good try, though. I'm very surprised that 3G let it go that far. Women is going to be able to pick up the defensive kills. One kill only to his name so far. Been having a decent series, but not the women that we've seen yesterday. So I look forward to see if he can do any better. Zed, however, is going to be able to pick up a couple kills. Going to be taken down. I'm just looking at the scoreboard. Zerg, 4 kills already. They're going to be able to get the control of the drone. And now Elevate, here comes the defense. Here comes the important kills. And let's not forget that 3G is on the preferable side as Niall tries to go for the one. It was very close to be able to throw it, but not going to work. Now Women, left side. It's going to have 2 players in front of him, including the drone carrier. It's going to be able to take him down, and good kills coming in from both teams. 2-on-2 situations. Women going to pick up one more. It's going to be a 1-on-1. Watson is going to be able to try to go for the one. It's not going to go in, but it's going to pick up the kill. I wonder if there's someone else able to eat that one on the Elevate side.
Yeah, I mean, they might have been able to, but at this moment in time, let's see which way this one's going to go. I mean, Zed's got another chance here. Let's see if he's going to put this one in. This looks like an easy 2 here, and going to get that one in. Really well played by Zed. And they're going to be able to lock this down here. Are they going to be able to control that mid-map as well? Let's see.
Oh, that could well be a relay ton with the way it's looking. Sean has been able to pick up 2 kills. Rady is in control of the drone. He's going to pass it to Watson. It's going to be another 2.40 to Elevate on the least preferable side. And look at the streaks as well. Watson streaks, that would be huge.
Oh, there's somebody going to go over the top of Reedy, actually. He's not going to notice it. He should get this kill, but surely he should get traded out. He's going to make the second as well. Surely he's not going to make the third. Not quite. 3 members of Elevate do go down. Zed now going to push through. He's in a great position to shut this down, though. Going to give them his position and go down, actually. Let's see, anybody going to go for that drone pickup? Not quite. Kill's going to come in from Reedy and Shawnee. The answer back. Zed's going to pick up second. Not going to be quite able to pick up the third as the drone does reset back to the middle.
That was huge from Zerg, but he wasn't able to pick up that last kill against Reedy. Reedy really getting all those gunfights for Team Elevate. And again, look at Quicker just staying alive, and Watson wasn't in a very good position to pick up that gunfight. Almost did so. And it's going to be Team 3G trying to stay alive as there is so much pressure and so much kills coming in from the side of Elevate.
Yeah, Reedy's 11-6 right now. The kills are coming in. Are traded by both teams here, though, so on board with Quicker, some defensive work, but this is really not what they need on this side. They need to be able to put in as many points as possible.
I just feel like 3G is trying to survive, to get some breathing room, because Elevate is putting so much pressure on them, and they keep doing so. So 3G really not in a great position. They're going to be able to, they're going to need to do much better if they want to be able to go for any points. But now they get all the kills.
Tickets, yeah.
Yeah, this is the chance.
They're going to be able to get control of tickets. Let's see what Zerg can do from this position. Is he going to go for the 1 and just go for the 2? It looks like he's going to go for the 2.
Oh my God!
That's the sort of moments where you've got to get those 2 points.
They finally get it.
They did get it.
It could have been a complete disaster. You can't let that happen.
Even it is a little bit, you know, I know for a fact that if they could actually getting those points, then it wouldn't have meant Niall would have had to sacrifice himself. Let's see if that drone's going to go in. Interception coming in, actually. Really good work there by Team 3G to intercept that.
Yeah, I think it was actually gonna go in, Chris. I really believe it was a good 1-pointer, but anyway, it was intercepted. Very nice setup from 3G to be able to anticipate that 1-point throw. It's gonna be 4-2 3G. Finally getting some points off the board, but here comes the push from Team Elevate. Shawn is going to be in control of the drone. He's going to trying to get those kills quicker. Flying in with 2 kills is going to be able to push back Elevate. It's going to be the second opportunity, 30 seconds before the end of the half for Team 3G. They have 1 opportunity to tie it up, or at least reduce the score.
They need so bad.
Able to do so, surely. Zerg is going to go in this time around, and 4-4 just before halftime. Really good reaction from 3G, but again,
it's not
very
enough.
scary. It's the favorable side, and we've seen Elevate put on so much pressure. I almost feel like this is pretty much a miracle score for 3G. They've been dominated the whole half.
They have been dominated the whole half, and that is actually not going to be good enough for me. I think Elevate should surely go on to win this map now, but let's see if they can do it. Let's see if 3G can answer back and do what Elevate did to them. They pinned them in for so long. And it's a map that we do sometimes see that happen.
We've seen it with Fnatic as well.
Establish that mid-map control. We've seen it with Fnatic against the Fuse, but they went on still to lose it. So sometimes that control is great to have, but with all that control, are you heeding enough points from that? I think on that side, Elevate did. 4 points on that side against the 4 points from 3G's side of things as well. It's good enough for Elevate. I think they should go on to win this one, but let's see what 3G can say about that.
Reedy is going to try to be looking for the kills. Watson's going to be able to pick up to Reedy. Is going to be controlling the drone. This could be a great push, but Quicker comes in. Very nice positioning. It definitely saved the opportunity, but someone else going to be able
Oh, they missed it.
Huge kills. Huge kills coming in. And once again, Quicker coming in huge. Going to use that rewind to stay alive. Wow, if he hadn't been there, that was definitely a 2-point.
If they can wrap that round, Elevate are defending with 3G. I like this, though. They're taking their time. They want to establish control. They want to get in a position where they're not panicking for a 1. They're in a position where they want to try and set up for 2. Not going to happen this time around. Those Elevate have back. Really going to come around behind, get a takedown quicker with ease. And we're seeing Ebrad come into fruition a little bit more now. A lot more teams tending to use it. Over range, obviously, it has nothing on the K-bar or the MV4 as 3 kills actually coming for 3G. 4 kills coming for 3G. Can they get it set up now? Niall's not in a bad position to push on here, but he's got a couple of kills that he still needs to make from this position. Going to try and stay alive, though. I like this play. They're pushing around the back. Niall's trying to distract, but the uplink is going the other way. The kills are going in the way of 3G.
Yeah, they're getting all the kills. 4 players on the right side of the map. Is going to be an ideal position for Zerg to try to go for that 2-point.
They can set up relay. The kills are coming in.
It's going to be a tough one. Can he go for the 1? He's going to try to go for the 2.
Sort of went around the other side. Yeah. I understand it because they want to try and set up the relay here, but they need to try and make that 2 points and then just try and defend for their life. Zed does use rewind.
That was a perfect setup as well from 3G. But when you push that right side, the spawn from Elevate makes it so easy to defend. And you could tell they literally spawned on the uplink, and 3G wasn't able to do that.
The thing is, if you look towards the scoreboard, that's a great shot on the quicker than you. The thing is, Elevate are just slaying better. They're outgunning them at the right times. And for me, it's going to be a really hard task for 3G to win this game now. Reedy picks up 2 with the Scarab. Let's have a look. Reedy does actually have his payload available. Anybody on the side of 3G close to it? Only Zerg. That one's going to be pushed through. Reedy, overdrive coming in. They're going to shut that down. That's big plays.
Zed, if he can pick up that second kill, that could be a score. He's going to try to go for it. He's going to get the 1 point. That was huge. Zed, we highlighted him as a key player for Team Elevate. Definitely showing why we are talking so much about him. On the other end, women having real struggle in this game, going 14 and 20 as Quicker is going huge for the team. The most experienced player in this 3G lineup. They have 2 minutes and 18 seconds to come back in this game. It's only 1 point, definitely doable, but you don't want to leave Reedy with the drone. Again, they're going to get the control. They're going to be able to get some time as all the players from Elevate go.
A few members of 3G going to be converging in on Reedy. A couple of kills going to come in. He's going to make 1 on the Quicker. Shawnee makes another himself as well as that drone is pulled away. Just trying to waste time here now, Elevate, but it's not out of contestation for 3G. Quicker than you makes a couple of good kills, though. Potential overextension here from Elevate. As we see, Zerg, Rabbit.
There's 3 players from Elevate. There is no way he's going to be able to even go for the 1-pointer somehow.
They need the lead blockers to be making kills, and they're just not making them. Niall's the only one to make one there, Jonas. All 4 members of 3G go down once again, and Elevate just keep sweeping them every single time there's potentially a chance. 3G just go down.
And I don't know if I agree with 3G trying to wrap the drone on the right side of the map. They've not been successful to do so. And every time we see that favorable spawn for Team Elevate, just allowing them to defend this drone very nicely. It was close enough, and it was a good opportunity for 3G, but not able to come back into this game just yet. However, the drone is not going to trying to go away. Big kill from Niall, indeed almost gets a turn on. But it's still going to be 5-4 to Team Elevate with only 1 minute left. Elevate 1 minute away from going into winner bracket finals done.
Well, Quicker than you is going to go down. Elevate are in control of this drone. Couple of kills going to come in from 3G. Reedy has some defensive work to do, but his teammate's going to do it for him. Shawnee does take down Wee Man. The catalyst from 3G, which we thought they would need, is Wee Man. He hasn't performed so far here. Niall going to get 2 kills. Active camo is available. There is potential in this push from 3G. 30 seconds left, Jonas.
Oh, is he still alive somehow? This is big. If Niall can stay alive, there's one more player. He needs a lead blocker. Reedy is gonna go down. He's got the camo available. This could be it, Chris.
Camo is popped. Wee Man makes 2 kills. Do they know where he is, or does he just go for the one? He goes for the one and draws things up with 15 seconds remaining. I like that play. He didn't get too greedy. Could have went for the win, but that's really well played. Zeg, is he thinking about trying to make this a game that 3G can win with 5 seconds remaining? Really not going to be able to do anything from this. We're going to overtime. Well played, 3G.
Wow, I got a little scared. You could feel by the movement, by his movement, you could tell, what do I do? Do I go for the one or do I go for the two? I'm sure there was enough room for the two, but he really messed up his movement. Decided to settle for the one. That was a great decision.
It was a great decision, but
he could have gone for the two if he didn't mess up his movements.
I don't think it was necessarily the movement. I think there was members of Elevate in and around that area where you thought they could have potentially made the kill. Safe play. I like it. For me, overtime gives them a better opportunity to win this game.
Second time that 3G comes back within the last seconds of the game, not being to force overtime. Last time, they were extremely successful. They scored on their last push, and it could be it again. Niall is going to go for it, and just like that, 17 seconds for Team 3G. Again, they force overtime last seconds, and they go for a crazy push. Elevate, we saw they had this in the back. They look great all game long, but just like this, from this double kill from Niall, staying alive, they force overtime, and now they look in a great position. Elevate. If you can do better than 17 seconds, I think I'm just going to lose it, Chris.
Yeah, if they can do better than 17 seconds, they deserve to win this game. It's going to be very hard for them to do so. That is a big factor, though. If Watson can use this camo and use it well, then Elevate could definitely win this one. Zed gets the kill.
First couple kills. Oh, no, Reedy, what have you done?
Oh, that could not have went worse. 3G are gonna win the map.
No way. And 3G comes back into the game.
The stars were aligned. The stars are aligned, and Reedy says, nope.
Zed must be so upset. He was able to get the first 2 kills on the round. There was definitely an opportunity to go for it.
Oh,
but even
God,
with camo,
so upset.
It could have gone down to...
There we go, Niall getting pumped in the booth now.
It could have gone to Alpha second, Chris, because literally, I don't think it's easy to score. I don't even know if it's doable to score faster than 17 seconds without overdrive. So even if he had that camo, he would have gone down to the movement.
9 seconds. Yeah, I think he would have had just about enough time. But wow.
Quicker. 31 kills to his name. Niall, only 24. But it was definitely the biggest factor in that last push that allowed them to go for overtime. And 3G somehow stay alive in this series. And now maybe they stand a chance. You know, I was telling you, Chris, I think they need something big. They need a big action to get the momentum going. And that is exactly that. It couldn't have gone any better for 3D.
You've got to ask the question, though. I mean, obviously we don't exactly know what went on with Reedy in that moment where the grenade did kill him. Maybe he had a grenade in his hand and he got killed.
I think he died and it dropped on him.
Yeah, and Watson had no option but to go that way, and that will be a stressed out Elevate team and a pumped up 3G team. Look, that's a much better booth there now, isn't it?
And honestly, I think for 3G, it's better to win that way than to win like 18-0, because
it's the momentum, it's the big hype moment, isn't it?
It's going to be, and Elevate are going to be thinking about this. They're like, guys, how did we let them force overtime in the last second, and how did we let them score in 17 seconds? But we've got very experienced players on the side of Elevate, so I'm sure we're going to see a great performance from them in our point. We favored Elevate going into this hard point. Sure, the momentum has changed, and 3G is going to probably put a better fight than they did in first map, but I still got to favor Elevate, Chris.
Yeah, you still have to favor Elevate, and what a series so far. I came to the venue today, I was pretty tired. I was like, wow, man, this is the 4th day of casting. I'm goosed. You know, this series has woke me up.
Yeah,
it really has that uplink. Wow.
Well, the first 2 maps weren't really close, but this one was definitely delivering up to the expectations. And 3G, going into this tournament, I just feel like everyone has been overlooking them, but they are a great team.
They have been overlooked, and I think rightly so, but at the same time, I think the top 6, 7, 8 teams in Europe are all quite close. Yeah. I still think, you know, after what we've seen this weekend, I know Orbit have beat Splice, but I don't think that was the Splice that we expect to turn up. I think Splice will still push on and set themselves up possibly for a grand final with Orbit.
It's gonna be a long road.
It's hard to say. There's a lot of games to play, but for me, all these teams aren't that far away from each other. There's not a massive skill gap between the top
Chris,
8 teams.
even Aware taking down Fnatic
Well, yeah, I mean,
yesterday.
that shows.
And they played amazing. It's not that Fnatic wasn't great. There are people saying, oh, Fnatic is not as good.
Fnatic weren't as great as I thought they were going to be.
I honestly thought that was Aware being impressive. Sure, Fnatic could have played better, but very surprised by Aware. Very surprised by Team 3GO as well. Still alive in the series after taking such a great map of Uplink. However, still backs against the wall as Elevate 2-1 up in the series. Map number 4 is going to be our point on Retaliation. Who do you want to catch up with?
Go with Nile. He was the guy that really got those couple of kills in that Uplink, in that overtime to win his team the game.
Are we going to see the same scenario again? 3G going up and Elevate just dominating the rest of the game. They are going to dominate that first hill.
They're going to get into there, though, but they're not going to get the kills, not going to clear anyone out. And then you got 3G kills on the board, get a hold of bridge, and they've got this well set up.
And Zerg is going to be, again, with that MV4. Zerg's been picking up a lot of very nice kills during the first high point. Let's see if he can do the same here as they get the first point of on the board. Deja vu, but the pinch is going to come in quicker, and Weeman still alive. The rotation...
Whew. Everyone's dying.
He's far away, and very nice push from Elevate because they've made 3G spawn so far out that they weren't even able to challenge the scrap.
3G are better set up for lower street here.
What was that, Quicker?
That was a very, very nice kill by Quicker. That was what that was. Shawnee does go down. Just patrolling around.
All right, Zed, is he going to be able to make anything special? He's going to pick up the first kill, Niall. Niall only able to pick up the first kill. The initial control is going to be in favor of 3G. Zed is just going to kill everyone, including his teammate. And he's going to be able to go around the back, pick up Niall.
Just look at this movement. He's flying around the map, picking up kills all over the place. And Zed is just an absolute tear. Opens things up for his team.
Just looks easy when you look at Zed. And he's on a 6-kill streak already.
6 and 1 out in Zed. Can he hold down Bike Shot?
He died on the first push, and hasn't died since. On the opposite side...
Yeah, he just ran through Hotel. He was just running amok through Team 3G. He's going to be made this kill as well. Of course he is. There's the 7th. There's the full score streaks available as well. And it's going to be very, very hard for Team 3G to deal with him for the rest of this game. Elevate have the spawns for this side, but they can actually afford to push this a little bit now and try and pick up some more of this scrap point because they know that Zed has those score streaks.
And on the flip side, 3G pretty much needed that scrap, so they could stay within distance of Elevate. You don't want to give them too much of a lead. Quicker, still on a kill streak. If he could pick up
all the kills coming in.
Kill streak on his own, that would be great. He's going to pick up a 4th kill, but Elevate, they have the rotation, but not only they have the rotation, they have the right setup on the map again to make 3G spawn so far right. It's going to take them 15 seconds just before they are within distance of that Cathedral point.
Well, as they push on through here now, they need to try and protect Quicker than you a little bit, because if he can pick up another kill here, it's going to be important for his team. Does get his Trinity Rocket. It's going to be able to get the bomb as well. Not quite. Good kill by Reedy. E-Rad in hand is why that good fight was a little bit more. All
4 players of 3G going down during that break. And look at number 2. Reedy is going to go around the back. Very nice positioning again on the map from this veteran player. And this was a flawless Cathedral R point from the side of Elevate. They're going to try to go for the rotation.
Streaks coming in.
And it's not going to make a kill.
Yeah, Reedy is going to push around, and it's going to allow the rest of his team to spawn near bridge with him to try and push into Broken. 3G already there, though. Shawnee does take down Zerg. Score streak's going to be coming in here, though. And that's actually going to be for Team 3G. So on board with Weeman, they are going to be in control at this point. They're well set up.
That works out, yeah. On the side note, they just waited 5 seconds because they were going for the setup instead of having someone in the hill. But the score streak is going to come in, so Weeman
wasted by Elevate there.
Yeah, well, no, Weeman, it got Weeman half the hill for a few seconds, but they were too far out. They were too far out.
But on board now with Weeman just holding this down. Let's go on board with, let's have a quick, Zed. Let's see if he can push on through, trying to use this Scarab. Not far off his rewind trophy system, does defend that. Pushing in, and now it comes the pinch. Shawnee picks up 2, and that's going to be the catalyst for them pushing in there. Now Niall does take down Watson. Who's this coming around the back? Well, he's easily red. Niall gets the kill, though, and they should be able to pick up Broken here still. Shawnee's inside there, but all alone. He's going to do well to survive. And 3G are going to pick up those final few points as we move to Hotel Corridor.
Oh, that could be big from women. The team kill's going to come in from Reedy. How many team quick kills have we seen on the Elevate? They just shoot at everyone, but they're still going to get that rotation. 120 and 85. Elevate still well within the lead at the end of the first rotation. Are we going to see the switch where the other team just completely dominates the second rotation? Could well
Possibly. Oh, quicker than you, Nelly, picking up the second kill there. Niall going to come in, pick up a kill. Oh, and that wasn't far off. Shawnee does take him down, and Shawnee's just been a constant thorn in their side, just picking up 2 pieces here and there. Currently on a 4 streak, and Scarab is going to control platform.
And I don't want to say anything bad, but it's 140 to 86, and Watson is going 4 and 14, and Reedy is going 5 and 12. But you have 2 players coming out. It's very unusual to see such a big difference between the 4 players. You have basically the 2v4 situation.
They're just stealing all their kills. That's what they're doing, Jonas. But 3G do make the kills. They are going to get in there. Reedy picking up onto Wee Man. On board with quicker though, as they do rotate around the bridge, and they need some points on the board here. They've got a pretty substantial lead already. Elevate. It's going to be about 165 to 86 as the rotation does come in.
I don't understand who 3G is killing. They are outslaying slightly by a kill or 2 maybe at the side of Elevate, yet Elevate almost have double the points of Team 3G. It's looking great for them.
That's nice.
Back against the wall for 3G once again. If they lose the map, they will be going to the lower bracket.
The thing is, I think that's a nice kill by Niall actually again. I think Elevate have always just got that rotation.
Look at
they picked up a lot of points on the lower street. They picked up a lot of points at Cathedral, and you know, they stopped 3G picking up the full 60 at Broken. If they picked that up, it would have been a closer game. Then, you know, it was a bit messy towards Hotel Corridor. But look at the kills coming in from 3G.
Yes, and they've had a very nice hold of that bridge hard point. And the kills are going to come in once again. Watson is supposed to go in for the rotation, but there's a lot of players from Team 3G. They'll know less than 60 points away, and they have the rotation. So if they can secure that second hard point,
it's a big kill. It's a big good fight. Is Shawnee going to be able to win it? Niall does it as well. Zed going to get the kill onto Wee Man. Niall gets another one onto Zed, so Niall really playing it well here. 3 streak for him, 3 streak for Quicker. They're not far off their streaks either. This could be a big hard point. 3G are catching up. There you go, Quicker than you. He's not too far off at this moment in time. He does actually get the Scarab, sorry.
This is looking a little shaky for Elevate. They looked really good, and just like this, you see 3G coming back into the game. Pika is going to stay alive. He's on a 7 kill streak, make it 8. Quicker just coming back into this game. And a minute ago, I thought this game was over, and surely that they had it in the bag. But Quicker brings it back, going 25 and 10. And in a few seconds, we're going to see Team 3G in the lead. Yet another comeback here at Jeffinity, map number 4. We could be heading to map number 5, Elevate. They need to wake up, Chris.
Yeah, they're going to get those final few scrap points. Do they have anybody with some streaks to help them out here? Are 3G going to choose to use them now? Yes, they are. It looks as if it's going to be coming in to just give them some more uncontested time on that point, and it's been completely wasted. Quicker than you, not able to use it. Shawnee's going to try and push in, not going to get one. Niall once again is there. Wee Man is with him. Here comes the kills. Reedy picks up 2 with the E-Ride. The score streaks are actually going to come in, as it does seem as if Cathedral is going to be retaken. You have to be careful not to bombard your teammate. Get out of the way, Zeg. That's going to really slow them down as well.
Good call out from the boys on 3G not to team kill any of their teammates. Oh, Shawnee, huge kill. It's not going to be enough. And 2v2 situation inside the hill. 1v2 now. Zerg needs to go huge. 3G is now in the lead by 10 points. If he could get this grab, that would be absolutely huge, but he's not going to be able to do so. Now they're going to have no choice but to go for the rotation. This game is going to be all tied up. This is so close. It's going to come down to who's going to be able to break or secure those last 2 hills.
Well, it does seem as if 3G are the first guys there. Quicker hasn't picked up a kill in a little while. And if I'm honest with you, I think those score streaks weren't utilized as well as they could have been.
Well, it's Quicker using score streaks. We've seen that time and time again.
3G do have control, though. They're in control of Broken, and Elevate have to take their time. Reedy does take down Niles. He peeks. Probably shouldn't have. We're going to see the pinch coming in. Let's see if Watson's going to be able to do anything here. Zerg does get 1 kill. Going to get jumped over, though. Watson comes in behind him. Suddenly there's only 1 guy left. Elevate pinch in, and it's just so easy. Elevate just move together, make the kills, win the gunfights where they need to. And 3G are suddenly on the back foot, and they need to push in quick here.
All right, they need to make this break work. Elevate can't win on this hard point, but they're going to be very, very close to winning if they're able to secure it. 2 kills with the Scarabs are going to come in. The kills coming in from 3G. This could be it. They could be breaking into this hill. They badly need it. They need to stay alive.
Oh, they need the kills as well, though, Jonas. They pushed
Camo.
in. Camo's been popped. He's going to get one. He's going to get the second as well. Not quite sure. He's all over it.
Huge kill from
20 vision on what? 230. They're nearly going to be there. Our elevators, we move into Hotel Corridor. Are there going to be any vacancies, though? 3G are available. On plat is going to be Zed. Quicker than you. They need to hold this down, and they hold it well. It does have that Scarab, which can become an important tool on this point. Really gets the kill in here. The points are in the favor of 3G. Shawnee coming around behind, though. Is it going to cause problems? The answer is yes. 2 kills come in just like that. Is he going to pick up the third? Not quite. Quicker than you with an important kill onto Shawnee. But Elevate are in control of that point. They're still in control of it. Are they going to win this bracket final? Niles is no, not quite. Quicker than you picks up another kill as well. And they're going to hold it down. They're going to push Elevate out. There's 30 seconds remaining. Team 3G can win it on this point if they can hold this down, Jonas.
Shawnee is going to be taken down through middle, but Zed is going to pick up the first kill. Watson is going to have a gunfight here. It's not an easy one to hold on to.
Zed's going to go in.
One more kill, and this is going to be it. Elevate, walk away with the win. 252-37. 3-1 for Elevate. But what a great game of Hardpoint we just had. 3G, they gave it all. Quicker, went big time and time again. Chris, wow.
What a sensational series, and what a way to end it. That Hardpoint, very close game between these two guys. Elevate walk into the winners bracket final. Bryson, the guys, what did you think of that one?
Thank you very much. Wow, what a game. Quicker versus Zed, and this time Zed walks away the winner. Team Elevate will continue through the winners bracket. Momo, your prediction was pretty bang on.
Yeah, I thought, I didn't actually think the uplink, I know Jonas mentioned it during the cast, he actually said the slip map would be the uplink, but yeah, 3G weren't going out without a fight. We saw that in the hard point as well. The search and destroy, it was back and forth with that game. You know, both of those squads very, very closely talented, but I think Elevate did deserve the win. Individual play stood out for me, which I'm sure we'll break down.
Yeah, I think realistically this game was actually pretty good. Like I said, the first hard point and then the S&D, I was like, this is really great, and then the uplink was fantastic.
I'm happy to see Elevate continuing to move on because they have provided us with, in my opinion, the best series so far this weekend. Obviously, their one versus Epsilon, now this one as well. The overtime uplink with the 15-second dunk, some great plays in the search and destroy, and then even there in the hard point, you heard the energy from the casters, and then the gameplay really spoke for itself. How many times that map when we were watching where you could literally pinpoint a play from every single person in that lobby, whether it's Quicker, whether it's Zed, whether we walk up here, you start yelling about Shawnee, the 2-piece he gets. I love games like that.
I think this is the key thing that you have to look at. It. Some of the stats don't really tell you the truth because some of those kills were massive.
Yep.
Like just making one entry kill when they went for that rotation into Broken, like just what I think we really got one, and then you could see them start to snowball. Like we've just got to make these picks and push forward. Then Watson comes through, picks up 2. They kind of neutralized the camo from 3G. So much could have gone wrong. And you know, I've got to give props to Team Elevate for the simple reason being is they were up by a lot of points, lost that lead, and then at that point a lot of people start panicking. They didn't. They kept it tight all the way to the end. Now we're going to go through this map by map in just a second. But before we do that, we're going to throw it down to the floor. It's Lottie with Watson.
Thank you very much, Bryce. Such an exciting series for you guys. I mean, it was certainly exciting for us. Let's talk about the first map. So Zed slayed for the first map. Is he a game changer in your team?
Yeah, Zach's by far the most impactful player on our team. Him going off can win us games alone.
And you guys are dominating the tournament so far. What separates you from all the other teams here?
I think one of the things that separates us is our hardpoint game because we haven't lost a hardpoint yet. We made a pretty good comeback against Fnatic yesterday, and just our general composure.
Going back to the series, your S&D looked really strong at the beginning. 3G pulled it back for a 5-3, and then you managed to secure the win. What happened there?
We just said, like, again, we went up and they started coming back. It's happened in 2 S&Ds so far, and we just said, let's all stick together, hit something together, and just trade the kills, and that's what we did, and we won.
Let's talk about your uplink now. You did lose that map. Was the pressure just getting to you guys when 3G were pushing that hard?
Again, it's just us making mistakes. We should have got at least 4 ones that we missed. We just got to work. We got to work on that. But we're by far the better team.
And your final hard point, that was crazy. I mean, it was really, really close. At one point, I think we all thought 3G were going to pull that back. Talk me through what the booth was like, what the atmosphere was like.
Honestly, props to them three because I was having a nightmare of a game. I was like 8 and 23, and them three kept in the game. They kept me in the game. They kept me composed, and we pulled through and won.
Awesome. And going into the winning bracket, what is your attitude like as a team now?
Well, we know we can take it. Like I said, we've not lost a single hard point this event, and we plan on keeping that streak going. So just confidence.
Thank you very much, Watson, and very good luck for your next series. Back up to you, Bryce.
All right, thank you very much. Well, Watson, again, you know, you can hear him screaming in the booth, but he comes out, it's like, yeah, I'm okay with this. I'm all right, you know, it's fine. It's just every other day. Like, just the energy level, as soon as you walk in the booth, the energy level is like, yeah, I'm back to normal, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But, again, you know, Watson kind of said what we were saying. There are very few points where they seem to really go out of their way and be in a lot of trouble. They always kept composed when they were under the fire, and for me, that's really kind of putting them in that elite level bracket. Like we were talking about at the start of the weekend, elite level teams, who are they? Elevate, when under fire now and when under a lot of pressure, are not buckling.
And not only are they an elite team that we're beginning to see, but they are led by an elite player in Zed. Watson talked about how he's the most impactful player on this team. Prior to that match, we did the key player matchup. Zed was on there, what, first, second, and third between the three stat lines, top 5 and everything. The guy's having an incredible event, and when he mentions they're undefeated in hardpoint, I would put a lot of that towards the performance that we've seen from Zed so far.
Well, I think so. I mean, actually, you know, Watson mentioned the scoreboard there. She was something like 8 and 23. We actually see it on our second screen. He finished 15 and 26.
And he went into the second to last hardpoint with 8 kills.
Yeah.
And, you know, to kind of just, he said his team kept him composed there, but to go in and just nail 7 kills in one rotation at one hardpoint itself, that's crazy. And yes, I will admit, he will admit, very poor 9 minutes for him.
Yeah.
But those last 60 seconds, he was on fire.
Well, I said it when we were sitting kind of watching him waiting for this game to finish. Like, I just saw what he was doing. And I'm like, oh, my goodness, they just smashed that setup they had.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was Watson's two-piece that really broke it for them and allowed them to get in that rotation and not bleed out all those times. 3G had that rotation. But I'll tell you what, we're talking about fourth map. Let's start at map number 1. Let's start with the first hard point and how we think it went.
Well, back with Scorch, this was one, too, where Momo... at times you thought, wow, 3G come out of the gate hot. We were sitting over the steps watching, and immediately they get out to a 20-second lead. But as time goes on, Elevate show why they have been arguably the best hardpoint team this weekend. As they begin to kick it into gear, their kills on rotation have been the thing that's most impressed me.
Yeah, the one thing about me, like you said, rotation for these guys. And I think that comes from, you know, we talk about Zed and his impactful kills and the likes of what Reedy is and whatnot. Shawnee, again, for me, this new addition to this squad, he's so humble in the way that he comes. It's not about anything, you know, not about the scoreboard. All he's focused on is what he's hearing in, you know, Reedy's voice, you know. And if he's been told to rotate early, that's exactly what he's doing. He really, really is one player that I will say 1,000,000% he's playing for the victory. There's nothing that goes through his head as, you know, I need to get this, you know, double kill. It's going to be a fancy play. Let's hit the rewind. It's not. It's like, I'm getting this rotation. You know, if I die here, it doesn't matter because this will happen. It is all about the victory, and that is why I'm actually, over this weekend, becoming such a fan of Shawnee.
Well, I think, you know, it kind of helps. That entire team has that mentality, and their coach says it a lot. He says we sit down and we go over these games. We go over these mistakes and we stop them from happening. But let's move on to map 2.
This was a map where Wee Man had a couple clutches. This was one of them that you're seeing on your screen right now. This was a 1v2 early on in the game. Bryce, I looked over to you. I said, I think Crusher's been my favorite Search and Destroy map this weekend. I've loved to see how teams approach going towards that B-bomb. You talked about Shawnee's impact. This was the 3-kill round he had again early in the game, and then it all began to develop later on as well.
Yeah, it was a really kind of masterclass from Shawnee in those early rounds. You see here, this is the kills being traded out so well, and I think that's what, you know, was the difference, you know, in the two teams. Not particularly this round in particular. We had a team kill going down there for Wee Man, but
smart play from Reedy.
Yeah, really smart. And it just seemed to be that one little step ahead that Elevate seemed to be. The Search and Destroy, they actually looked really strong in this time.
Well, I think what we're seeing now as we move forward with Elevate is the way this team composition works. Watson he's always had a disgusting AR. He's always been the most ridiculous of shots in Europe. It's been like that for so long. The only issues he had was his inconsistency and maybe decision making.
And his attitude.
Yeah, and his attitude. The team seems to have fixed a lot of those issues. Zed, of course, you know, he had a few issues as well, decision making, but was just a great speed player. He's doing that again. Then you've got Reedy and Shawnee, who seem to be filling in all those gaps and in-game leader. But let's move on to the map they lost, though. This is Uplink, 4-0 up. Didn't end that way.
Yeah, the overtime we'll get to it in a minute, which literally was one of the quickest overtimes I've seen on this map, under, I think, 16 seconds for the score. Nice interception that winds up coming in here on the side of 3G. This was the game mode where I thought Elevate would actually close it out. I predicted a 3-0 for Elevate. It does go to the game 4. Biggest standout things for me, how even these two teams looked throughout this entire map. There was never one point where you thought one team was going to pull away. No, it was neck and neck, even through the overtime. If there wasn't a team kill with that grenade, you think Elevate might have a chance to match the time that was put up by 3G.
Yeah, the uplink really was, you know, I thought this could be the real momentum shift. You know, Quicker has been reverse swept quite a few times. I thought, you know, if he wins this, he'll go into that second half point a lot more confident. And the way they won it as well was, you know, a bit of a sucker punch towards Elevate. You know, it was last second, last minute. But yeah, so close individually. Great plays all around from Team 3G, though.
And here's the moment right here where we talk about the grenade. Winds up killing Watson, and they had 2 lead blockers pushing down the street.
And camo.
And active camo. Not sure if the time would have worked out, but either way, definitely would have been close.
It certainly would have, and they will regret that massively. You know, they had so much going for them in that overtime. Problem was, they had such a time to beat, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's literally just so narrow that one mistake, done. If we were talking like a minute, you probably would have gone, well, they might have had it. They still had active camo in the bag.
You got to say, just super smart play from Team 3G, though. You know, 15 seconds, you're thinking, I know, I'm just going to lob a few grenades in there, push them back, bide my time. Came out for them, though.
All right, well, let's move on to map number 4. And a hard point that started very one-sided, but ended in a kind of a rip-roaring fashion.
One thing we haven't talked about a lot on this desk, and I know you guys have been mentioning back and forth to each other off-air, has been the matchup of Quicker versus Zed. Zed starts out 13-3 this game, dominating everything, leading his team in the objective, leading the game in the objective, leading in kills. The heroic-like performances keep in, but then Quicker goes, you know what, anything you can do, I can do better. You see here he's on that 4 streak, now 21-10. I believe it's coming up here where he gets fully streaked on out, and this is actually the hard point where 3G take back the lead. So the 2 previous Hyper Games players who were such dominant forces in Hardpoint Online in the CWL last year, now going up against each other on LAN here at Gfinity, but in the end it is Elevate coming out on top in 4 games.
Yeah, I think so, and obviously this all means 3-1 Elevate, continue forward. They're guaranteed top 3. 3G, though, will fall into that loser's bracket. A loser bracket that isn't looking too easy for people. I believe the game they are playing is against Splice as well.
Yeah, they fall into a very tough category. They basically fall into a pit of snakes, literally.
This was the scenario we talked about. 3G in the group stages, they wind up having to beat Orbit. They do just that. And then now in the losers bracket, if they want to stay alive, they have to beat Splice, which coming into this weekend, everyone regarded those 2 teams as the top 2.
They certainly would have done well. From one big game to another. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. When we come back, though, Orbit versus Infused, another winners bracket game. We'll see you right after this.
Sometimes teams have 4 players that can do every single role, but personality clashes, sleeping patterns, people being lazy, or the way they think the game plays can differ, and so if I make a change currently in the EU, I'd say I'm team with the 3 best instead of having 1 best. I think I'm team with all 3 of them. There's other top players in the EU, like so Joe and Reese, who I've teamed with before, but at the moment I think I'm team with the 3 best players in the EU. I chose to stay with Josh because me and him both had success in other teams, not just with Joe and Reese. So me and Josh came second at season 1 last year, so we knew we could play with other players, and we thought we'd have a change. The team wasn't working with Reese and Joe, personality clashes, so I thought I'd stick with Josh, who I've been teaming with for over a year now, and hopefully it pays off. Ideally, I'd love to see this end with Splice winning everything. European events aren't really much, they're more practice or the pro points mainly to get into the league, but the big thing will be COD Champs and the World League, and that's where we will want to win. We know how to play the game now, it's just putting it into action.
A granddad before, but teaming him recently, he's been like picking up an SMG. At Champs, we placed top 16, which that's pretty poor from us. We placed top 8 at Anaheim last year. It's almost been 10 months since me and Mark have won an event, and with Moose and Olsen, I think we can achieve a first at this G-Finity. I think when we went to Vegas, it was really unjustified just because we lost to Elevate early in the open bracket, and it was a best of 3. A best of 3 is never like good enough to like show what a team's worth. I think me and Mark will continue as a duo. It's down to him as well. I can't fault him, and I can't see any reason why I would leave and pick up someone else. I'm pretty confident with this team as well, with Moose and Olsen, so looking forward to see how this year will pan out.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to CWL London. We are live in the Gfinity Arena, and we have another winner's bracket game for you. Another big one as well, Orbit versus Infused. A lot of people are looking forward to this matchup. Some saying Orbit, they doubted them yesterday. Some saying Infused have looked superb and expect them to get to the final. Now we are going to settle that, but before we do, let me introduce the 2 people on the desk. Better looking than my last panel, and probably just as clever. First of all,
Again, he's given us both compliments, man.
Yeah, I feel like they're more heavily weighted towards me than you, but he has paid you a little bit of a compliment because I'm here as well.
you know what? I'm okay with you being on the desk, X. You know, I appreciate you being here. It's like, we've got Jack, but they bought you, so it's okay.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the only one who can kind of like match your meanness on a consistent basis.
I would not get
pretty mean, so I feel like somebody needs to fight him back here on the desk.
I don't think I'm mean. I think it's just love.
Misunderstood you?
I'm like a warm embrace, but as a person.
You look like a vampire.
That's coming from you. Yeah. Coming from you. If you hadn't been dipped in varnish before the event, like I'd expect you to be wearing a cape coming on the desk. Honestly, I need some of that, you know, to do the patio out back. Jesus. Anyway, let's get into this game and talk
I'm water resistant.
Water resistant. Let's get this game. It's Orbit versus Infused as we go on into this one. All right, let's get our first impressions on how we think these two teams actually match up, because it's been kind of weird. People have been saying, you know, they doubted Orbit, then they've been hyping up Infused. Where do we think they stack?
I mean, we doubted Orbit, and then they come in and they just destroy through, run through Splice. I think Infuse, you look at them, it's really been PD and Moose. Those two guys have just been unreal. Moose in the last series specifically. I think you look to them, see how they perform in this matchup. If they don't kind of keep up to how they've been performing in the previous ones, I think this is one Infuse can lose actually, you know, pretty large. I feel like Orbit can come in and take this pretty substantially.
Yeah, Orbit are in fine form this morning, but of course, Team Infuse, Marky B, Moose, Norson, and PD have set a few people's eyes towards them this event with how strong they've been playing. Taking down Fnatic, a lot of people were like, well, actually, you know, Infused are here to play. And a lot of us wondering just how well they're going to do.
Yeah, and I think, you know, if you look at their performances, we highlighted the individual performances we've seen, but we need them all to play fantastically well in this game, I think, to beat Orbit, because Orbit have looked very, very strong. I think, for me, this is the first time they've went up against an elite team this weekend.
Yeah, well, speaking of Orbit, there they are, Joe, Rated, Urban, and Zero. From a defeat against 3G early in the group stages, they come swinging into the bracket. They took down Splice in a 3-0 victory, which has put them here against Infused.
Yeah, I mean, I think the loss in group stage is probably the best thing that happened to this team. I mean, Rated has an awful performance in that matchup, kind of realizes, like, I need to step my game up. Going into the bracket play, they get a tough matchup against Splice. Splice probably the best opponent they could play because, you know, obviously Joe and Rated even more motivated going into that matchup. But I think Orbit, we're definitely seeing them kind of realize their potential as a team. I was really high on this team coming into the event, had not seen great things outside of their PSX performance. But now they're really starting to show their true potential.
Well, here's an interesting thing. So first of all, we're going to look at the key player matchup now for this game. Two fantastic players that have detonated all over this event, Zero and Moose. Moose has been fantastic. Look at his statistics.
Yeah, fantastic would be a good way to put it. I mean, he's in the top 3 in all of our statistics shown. So, I mean, it just shows you the type of play that we've seen from Moose. It's really the first time in a very long time I can remember Moose
Moose
playing at this. Yeah, you keep saying new Moose. He looks the same as the old Moose, just playing a lot better.
The new Moose looks fantastic. He's majestic. The majestic Moose.
That looks the same Moose that we had last year, just with much better stats.
Subtle. Very, very subtle. But no, obviously, you know, both these two players done really well as they go forward here. But there's also another match I would like to talk about. Now, yesterday, when Orbit played Splice, it was a little bit of the war of Josh and Bance versus Rated and Joe. Today, it's a little bit of a war of Zero and Urban against Marky and PD.
Is it, though?
Well, so this is the way I understand it went down.
Okay.
Urban, but he wanted a team with Zero. Zero told him, no, I'm going with Urban. So they both ended up leaving. That's how that team eventually ended up splitting.
Ructions.
Yeah.
Well, if I remember, Urban was actually pretty poor at COD XP last year. He did not have a good event for Infuse. So I can understand how, you know, Mark AB, basing off that event, like, did not want to bring him into the team this year. But no props to Zero. Stays committed to his boys, teammate. They move on to Orbit, and they find themselves in a pretty good squad.
All right, well, here are the maps. Scorch, Crusher, Precinct, Retaliation, and Throwback. Guys, give me your predictions on how we think this one is going to go.
3-2 Orbit. I think, you know, Orbit are a little bit faster on the hard points. I think the S&Ds could go to Infused side, but I think that Orbit will take the uplink.
Rated's not going to like that. He said he's the best S&D player here this weekend, but X?
Yeah, you know, I kind of want to go out on a limb here. I want to say that Orbit's going to win this one 3-0.
Okay, both for Orbit, but differing opinions. Well, I'll tell you what, let's kind of find out how this game is going to go as I hand it over to our casters. This is Infused versus Orbit. Guys, please take it away.
Beautiful stuff, gentlemen. We are prepared for this winner's bracket semifinal match. Myself joined by the wonderful Rel. Rel is saying that this is our last time ever casting together. Rel, I'm not letting you retire.
It's not really an option or a choice you have, Jack. I'm sorry.
Well,
it's been decided.
I will take you back to the United States with me, and I will make sure Maven never casts again, and you can join me now. Deal?
But you love Maven.
I do. I can't lie to the people. We're going into game number 1, though. Infuse versus Orbit. This is a series I know we're both very excited about. We heard the analyst predictions, Rel. From your perspective, though, where do you see this one going? Is this a short series or is this a 5-game series?
You know, this is going to be very, very close between these teams. I mean, let's put it this way: the previous Infused lineup has been split here. We have 2 ex-Infused players now playing for Orbit. They know exactly how each other are going to play this out. I'm thinking game 5.
You didn't give me a team.
I'm going to say Infused.
Okay, there we go. I didn't want the typical VP Brothers answer where no side is chosen. Let's get into it, folks. A winner's bracket semifinal matchup. The winner of this one secures themselves a top 3 placing here at the CWL London Invitational presented by the PlayStation 4. Off the break, we're watching Rated, the self-proclaimed, best S&D player this weekend.
Well, that's what he says. Let's hear what his thoughts were on the run-up to this game.
I think Infused have played really well so far, but I don't really think anyone's really challenged them. They beat Fnatic and Epsilon, who are both already out in 8th place, so I don't think they've really had anything that's challenged them so far, but I think they're a really good team. We've played them online a couple of times. They've beat us, we've beat them, so I think it can go either way.
All right, well, confidence once more there from Rated. We saw him opening up very strong. They had a great flurry of kills on that hardpoint area, but it does seem like Infused have just brought it back.
I think that's the most interesting thing for me. We saw the map counts between these two teams in the matchup card prior to the series starting, and you saw the better map record right now is Infused at 92% of maps won.
Yeah.
Orbit's was a little bit lower, and you could test a lot of that over to their Splice series where they got 3-0'd earlier this weekend. You think, though, Infused in this matchup, definitely their toughest test yet. Currently the score, 21-18 in favor of Orbit. 4 times multi-kill coming in there for Urban as we begin the rotation towards the back turbine hardpoint.
And I just want to get on board with Moose here. Moose had that unbelievable hardpoint performance yesterday. We're going to have to see if he can replicate this today. He's got. I don't
think he's stopped having good performances. This is arguably the best I think I've ever seen Moose play at an event. I'd like to see stats that prove otherwise, because right now top 3 in every major category, as Mr. X pointed out. The guy is going off. A big reason why Infused find themselves in this scenario. But there's also the storyline behind it of Zero and Urban and their pass with Marky B. Who of the duos winds up doing better? Currently, the score getting a little bit closer as Infused look to take the lead.
I mean, if you looked at these, them as individuals and you looked on the previous title, I would probably say Zero and Urban were the better 2. But, you know, as you said, on map count, Infused have been the better team, so the switch really has been beneficial for them. You can see them now taking the lead. PT just going to secure all those scrap points, but rotation is going to favor Orbit.
God Champs runner-up Joe just got his first kill of the game. Now let's hop on board with Orbit for a second. See how they can hold down this hard point as the pressure begins to come in from Infused. Joe nearly just does miss that first player challenging from that underpass area, as Zero will lock down the hard point for his team. We saw Zero stats this weekend, and you said you weren't all that impressed with what you've seen so far from Zero.
No, I mean, Zero is one of those players in the past who we've seen really doing standout performances. He's always been top of the leaderboards, top of the game, and in comparison to the other competitors here, he's not been putting up his usual numbers.
It reminds me of kind of like a karma factor, where when you've got some of the best players around you, there's maybe less on the map for you to have to go ahead and take down. Infused out their largest lead of this game currently, 83-53. Remember, get involved with the conversation on Twitter. Use the hashtag CWL London. Make your thoughts known. Give your predictions for this series. I definitely want to see them, because a lot of people going back and forth and on who they think will win this. Currently Infused giving some great effort as we will go to the final hill of this first rotation, with a 50-second difference between these two teams.
Yeah, and this is really big for Infused. A lot of people actually favouring both of these teams to make it all the way to the final, so it's interesting that they should meet here. This is the winner bracket, though. This is, of course, a double elimination series, so even if they do lose this, Jack, they still have that shot.
Now, you did just see for a second when we hopped on board with PD, fully streaked out, went on an 8 streak, combined with his team, up to 13 kills in a row for Infused there across the last couple minutes, and you'd probably attest that back to the score lead that they now have. But Orbit do break on through a lot of pressure towards that observation deck area, but this is where the streaks begin to come into play. Trinity Rocket now falling does come on in to clean up Urban. That's a prime example of how streaks can force your opponents to play out of positions they don't want to be in, and how you can easily retake a hard point with a well-used streak. At the end of our first rotation, it will be over a full minute lead for Infused.
Wow, and this is bad news for Orbit. Still with Zero now as he makes it straight onto the hard point. And this is quite a difficult one to rack up a lot of points on, Courage.
Yeah, very scrappy. We saw that in the first hill where both these teams really left this hard point within about 2 seconds of each other. Orbit, I'm seeing the same style of hardpoint to where we saw them struggle a little bit at the start of this weekend when they had that matchup versus Splice, as we talked about earlier on. How can they bounce back, though, in this map? So many times these top teams go down at the beginning, but then claw back into things as their slaying improves over the map. Well, here you're facing Infused. You're not going to get that same luxury as you did back in group play.
Oh, no.
They have begun to claw back into things, now only down by 40, and they've got the spawns locked down for the new hardpoint at Turbine.
Yeah, this really is where the men separate themselves from the boys, as we see Orbit finding 2 more kills, and they're actually on a nice little comeback here. Jack, you were saying before there was a minute between them.
A minute between them, but also look at the kill feed now. Look at your scoreboard. It's been all blue, rated from 5 and 10, now up to 10 and 10 on a 5 streak. He's finally making his presence known. Can Orbit, though, hold down these spawns? Because here comes a big push from Infused. 3 players hitting the outside catwalk area. Joe trying to stay alive inside Factory, but already hardpoint control has been flipped. You've got the members of Orbit spawning on out. An awkward scenario, as you can just see that they're pushing on in. Now, I do believe, you're looking down the stage, I do believe Zero is playing like this on purpose.
Yeah.
He's waiting for his team to get, no, he was playing like that on purpose. He was waiting for his team to get in a position to be able to follow this up. So look, gets the first 2 kills. Urban then hits that catwalk area. Now they'll be able to pinch on in. So it did look a little strange because he was waiting there for about 15 seconds. The right call in the end, as now Orbit will get the rest of the scrap time, it looks like, and bring themselves within 10 seconds, Rel.
Yeah, I mean, I was a bit confused. I was like,
you were standing up and looking at the venue. Is something wrong? What's going on here?
But no, he was playing it very smart. Urban has just unlocked his payload as well, so could be seeing that come into play, as this is starting to become a very close game. That huge lead that Infused had not so long ago has completely gone.
This is an area, though, where Orbit need to take over in communication. Thankfully, Zero just goes full dad mode with the 3-piece, because they were in a little bit of an awkward push. They sent in 1 player first. Zero makes the hero play happen, though, as he's somehow still alive. He buys enough time, though, for his team to push from that last hard point into the new one. And now look at the top of your screen. 160 to 157. Orbit have mounted the comeback. And earlier I was saying it's going to be tough to do this against Infused. Well, I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Every time I count Orbit out, they always seem to come back into things.
And I've just got on board with Joe here. He's struggled so far in this game. Finally finding the kill there. 7 and 13. Not the best of performances from him. He is over triple kills behind Zero, who, you know, I highlighted at the start of the game saying he's not really been standing out that much, but my goodness, he's having a fantastic hard point here.
Where's the slang been for Infused in these last few hills? It's been completely null and void, and Orbit know this now, right? Even with Joe struggling, what makes him a strong team is anyone can step up when they need to. We critiqued Zero's stats a little bit so far this weekend, but now he's going big for his team, 26 and 14. He's got reactive armor as well. Orbit win the kills on rotation, their largest lead of the game yet, as they look to potentially close out map 1 on the next couple hills.
And Zero finally going down there has had such long lifetime. His hard point coming under contest, and it is going to be Infused that come out on top. Moose, who we said had that outstanding hard point performance, gonna need to crank things up again to bring this back.
This one is down to the wire right now. PD just waiting. He's got teammates watching over. Enough time here for them to absolutely still play for this, and it's a quick rotation over towards middle map. Infused looking to retake this lead. You can see on your mini map, though, a pinch now developing. They've got to watch out for Rated. PD snaps onto him here. It's a 1v1 scenario. Nolson with the help. Infused now will take back the lead as they begin to show some strengths. 197 to 197 as Infused now begin to move towards middle map, and still the kill feed in favor of them, as they're going to be set up this new hard point already.
PC is really getting fired up here. Some big kills, and there's another on a 4 streak now. And Infused taking this lead in quite commanding fashion. Oh, and there's the engagement on the hard point. Orbit on top.
With the E-Rad, Joe beginning to show some life. It's been a quiet game for him so far. 10 seconds separate these two teams. Let's take a look, though, at our payload abilities. What's going to be available? A few will be available for the side of Orbit as we begin to move towards this new hard point. You've already got Zero with that reactive armor. Still can be such a great tool to break into this new hill. One thing to point out, though, Orbit do spawn out for this current hard point. They have nobody near the new hill, and look at the score. They still have to actually contest this middle hill. That's what they're setting up for right now, but PD is lights out. Another 4 streak.
And this is really good for Infused. PD as well with the armor. He could just go in there now and hold this himself.
Okay, he's about to earn himself a bombardment. Does he win the one-on-one engagement? There it is! PD fully streaked out, 26 and 18. Nobody near this new hill yet for Orbit. I think Infused are going to be able to close it out here.
And here comes a score streak by PT. And, yep, I think this is going to be it, Jack, unless Orbit can just throw themselves at this.
This should do it, folks. Infused. Oh, you gave up the first big lead you earned, but then you wind up closing it out when you need to. My MVP there has to be PD. The guy winds up getting the scrap time in middle to bring his team within 9, and then there in the end calls in the streaks to shut the door on Orbit. Map number 1 goes over to Infused as they continue to improve on an already insane 92% map win percentage this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, they had a brilliant start to that hardpoint game, Jack.
Yep.
They were just taking it. They were taking it away from Orbit to the point where it really didn't look like they had any shot at getting back into the game. But I mean, Orbit out of nowhere, huge performance from Zero, going 30 and 19 for the loss. Just wasn't enough.
And you could see Rated and Joe, they do what they can inside the objective, combined 3 minutes and 18 seconds in the hard point, but they go -8, -9, lowest in defense on their team. And when they're in the hard point the most, you expect those defense to be higher. But what it says is that they're not winning gunfights in the hard point. You need to see that improve if we do go to a game 4. But at least for the crew of Orbit, they now can move into search and destroy and slow down the pace a little bit.
This is it. The Orbit lineup here, we've got 2 ex-members of Infuse, so there's a bit of a storyline there.
Yeah.
But Joe and Rated are ex-Splice, and Splice were, you know, top of the game alongside Infuse on the previous Call of Duty title. So you'd think by gluing these guys together, they'd certainly be putting up big numbers here. But as you said, the ex-Splice guys really struggled. Rated and Joe just going so negative in that game.
Yeah, Rated and Joe did struggle a little bit, as we did touch on, though. They tried to pick up the objective when they could. Infused, you love to see how they wind up closing out that game. PD goes absolutely off. Back-to-back 6+ streaks, earns the full streaks as well, and then uses to shut down that final hard point. Players getting ready to go into game number 2. I do believe we should have that set quite soon, as we'll be able to bring that action. Crusher, Search, and Destroy going to be map 2. Rel, predictions for this map?
Well, where do you begin with this? That 92 map percentage win by Infused is the thing that's going to influence me here. I can see them taking this Search and Destroy. I think they will be a very formidable force on it. However, when we actually look at the Orbit guys, we've got, as we said, those ex-Splice members that are so good on S&D and Rated and Joe. It's going to be a really tough one to call. I mean, if I'm sticking by my original prediction and saying this is going to go final map, you know, I'm going to give this one to Orbit.
That's how you're going to decide it. Okay, hey, I've done that. I've done that many a time. You go with what you think your original prediction would wind up being. Look at the players in the booth now. Orbit, not the first time they've struggled in hardpoint this weekend. I really wasn't impressed with it back in day number 1, and that's where I made the comment to Zero and said, "Are you guys really not doing well enough in hardpoint so far this weekend?" And he said, "Jack, I'll show you tomorrow why we're one of the best, if not the best team in hardpoint this weekend." And that's where they wound up taking the series versus Splice, as they now prepare to go into game 2. I'm seeing things getting moving now on my screen. I think you are as well.
Yes, yes. The wheels are in motion. And a real tense series. I know a lot of people are going to be tuning in for this one as well, because in my opinion, these teams are so evenly matched. There's so much history behind it as well.
Oh, yeah.
And there is this big ex-Infused rivalry for Zero and Durban. You know, those guys split ways between Marky B and PE.
I mean, you look at these two teams, so many veterans split between them. But even more than that, these guys have not only teamed with each other, in the last year, but these guys have probably swapped teams 4 or 5 times in their career where they've been on the squad versus with this guy. Oh, okay, over here, they teamed back in 2012. Some of these players, it's funny to see how that's happened in the European scene, where you just kind of go back and forth to who you're comfortable with. We see it in North America at times, but I feel like right now, with how the CWL is, players need to begin to realize that they need to make sacrifices and move out of their old groups that they're used to make sure that they can wind up earning themselves a spot in the LAN League when it begins.
Yeah, there's so much that goes into this. Pro points are just such a huge factor now.
Yeah.
And it's events like this that can really influence people's decisions moving forward. I mean, we've got 5,000 pro points per player up for grabs for the victors, and many more to be split amongst those that are runners-up.
Some of the best things players did was utilize the pro point ladder for as long as they could. It gets to a point where, hey, if a team that's got if a player with a lot of pro points winds up getting dropped from a team, or the roster winds up changing, you'd be surprised to see what other rosters would do to earn themselves a higher seed for some of these events and bring that new player in. Not going to see it quite yet, I think, but as the year develops, watch out for some of those roster changes to come into play. We appreciate the patience as we got this map 2 started on up. It's going to be Crusher, Search, and Destroy. If you're just tuning in, this is a winner's bracket semifinal matchup between Infused and Orbit. Arguably 2 of the top 3 teams in Europe right now, proving why they deserve to be in this top half of the bracket. Rel, off the break, it is going to be Orbit on offense. Which player are we going to watch?
I want to watch Zero, especially after seeing what he could do on that hardpoint game. I want to see what kind of damage he can do going onto this search and destroy. As you said, Jack, both of these guys are in the winner bracket, so a loss in this series is not the end of the tournament for them. They can still punch their way through the lower bracket, find a place in the final, and no doubt they're going to do some damage in there, whichever one of these goes down.
Let's get into it then. Game number 2 off the break. We are watching Zero monster performance in the hardpoint. As right now, the current defensive setup from Infuse, they put a little bit of pressure towards A, a 2-2 split, but they've already begun the rotation, so they see no grenades, no tacticals go flying out inside A, and that's an immediate call for them to rotate these bomb sites, and it looks like it's been the right decision so far.
Oh, and that's really unfortunate. Somehow finds a kill, and the team kill balance things up, and now Orbit on in that bad of a position. 2-2, 2v2.
They can absolutely do this. The first player charges on in towards that middle corridor area and just basically suicides, and now the pressure's going to come in. Rated gets picked off. Marky B as well as Moose in the 2v1. Nice job by Infuse to bring the aggression to their opponents before they can get out of that awkward scenario in that side pocket. We'll take a look at it again from the perspective of Moose. But you mentioned right there, maybe a slight pacing issue. I don't think Moose was expecting his teammate to slide in towards that bomb by himself with no follow-up opportunity. There was no trade there. Absolutely no trade. Got a little bit closer than you would have needed if you're on the side of Infuse, but hey, a round win is a round win. And now they'll take their hand at the offensive side.
Yeah, it's just one kill for Orbit in that whole round, and that was by Zero. We'll see what Petey can do. You said, Jack, he was one of the standout performers in that hardpoint game for Infused, who really tipped the tide towards them as he makes his way towards the B-bomb site. Conventional B push here, but this has been identified.
No trophies right now, which so far the recipe for success for planting a bomb at B on this map has been trophy systems. Orbit decides, let's just push on through. Don't give them the opportunity to plant this objective. Kills being traded down quite quickly in your kill feed. Marky B as well as Moose, still the same duo. Alive as last round. Moose playing this close corner. Will peek and kill one. Second one is there as well. Moose continues to play out of his mind this weekend. We'll take a look at it again. 2 straight round into kill cams for him here. Keeps the shots with the hip fire nice and clean. Again, Infused, their communication is there. When the hectic trading goes into play, they still come out on top for another round.
Oh, that was brilliant, and 2 rounds under the belt now, so great, convincing start by them. Urban still yet to find a kill in this game for Orbit. Let's see if he can change things up as they now make the A push.
This has been the entirety of European Call of Duty on this map. The teams that just get fed up just send 4 players inside of A, muscle out their opponent, and then force Infused here to play for the retake. Thankfully, if you're Infused, Moose already has a Scarab, which I absolutely think is a tool he should use in this round if the bomb gets planted. First blood, though, for Rated. That's not going to help at all for Infused, but now Moose actually earns his rewind at the start of round 3.
And Rated's in a great position here. He's just waiting for them to make a move. Urban's going to clean up Marky B. And this is looking like a great round for Orbit. Interestingly, they weren't going for that bomb plant for quite a long time. It's only now that they make that decision. Let's see if Knowlton can get around the flank.
I'm not entirely sure why Orbit kept on peeking towards that one side. Moose, 5-0, doing everything for his team so far in this game. He does have rewind to use.
Yeah, and he was quite unfortunate there. Bit of COD timing as he missed the player. To turn away. Oh, he had no idea. And that rewind could have come up clutch in a situation like that.
Do want to correct myself. I accidentally said Orbit kept peeking to one side. It was actually Infused who kept peeking that back door right there. When 2 players were behind cover with K-bars watching that choke point. That's how the first 2 kills came in to give Orbit the number advantage. There, if you're Infused, reset the mindset. You still have a Scarab to use. Maybe bring those tools out to give you a chance to win that round.
Maybe it was just a bit of panic that set in. Yeah, you know, this is really tense. This is big stuff. The wins in the winner bracket, so much more important than the lower bracket. You advance further in this tournament, and this is a very, very tight contest between these 2 teams.
Remember, this is for a spot in the winners bracket final, which if you're there, you're guaranteed top 3 at the event.
So big stuff here. Winner bracket semi-final well underway. If you are just joining us, Infused are 1 map up after a very thrilling hardpoint game.
Teams are afraid right now to plant towards this bomb because there's no I'm seeing no trophies. They have no confidence in their ability to get the objective down, so they're just either flying out on defense or flying out on offense. That time around, it was Infused saying, let's try our hand at being the aggressive ones. They slide on out. but everyone's already there for Orbit. They read it like a book, and they react accordingly.
Oh, that was a very easy round for Orbit as well. Infuse pretty much just gifted them every single kill there. And it's, as you said, it's this lack of commitment that they seem to have. They don't have the trophies to support them when they're going for that bomb plant, so they just seem to hesitate and allow Orbit to take control of that area.
How do Orbit now play this? Because they go towards A the last time on offense. They know Infuse like to stack towards this site.
And look at this.
Joe is actually holding such a deep angle that he won't see the player who just decided to cross middle. Infuse are going to come flying out, and there's already a flank coming in from Moose. He actually gives away his position, though. You see the player get shot in the back. He doesn't clean anybody up. Now he'll use the rewind, but he's bought his team enough time to clear out the site for him, and now it's a 1v3. The last player's been spotted. Moose just needs to play his life here, as Joe should be chased down pretty quickly.
Oh, well ready with grenade in hand there. Does pop it. Is going to find one. And surely not. No, he is going to go down. Infuse take round number 5. And it's nip and tuck stuff, this going back and 2 between them, but Infuse just about edging the lead.
Here it is from Nolson's perspective. Maybe if Joe doesn't pull out his fists there when sliding back in towards the backhanger area, he has a chance to get that kill. But Moose flanks so fast in that round. He does use rewind, so his payload now gone. Might have an opportunity to earn it if this game does go the distance towards this round 11. As we take a look at how Infuse try to play this, and again, what do? They just change things up, send 4 towards A, and that's going to force Orbit out of the site. As I was saying, you just muscle out your opponent, play for a quick stretched plant, which right now PD should be doing. But no, Orbit are going to try flying on end. He's got Marky B watching over him. 3v3 now.
Yeah, and Marky is just reluctant to push around this corner. He is going to come head-to-head with Joe, and there he is. He sees him, backs off wisely.
Yeah.
So he's going to hit the full force of Orbit.
Pro tip, don't sprint around that corner, which Marky B almost did, but then realized his mistake before he could get gunned down for it.
Look. And, oh, this is very, very sneaky by Infused. They look like they are going to continue to push into A, but they're just trying to fool them.
And this is what I was talking about on the analyst test. This is why this is one of my favorite maps I've seen so far this weekend. Map and game mode combination. You can play so many mind games with your opponent. Orbit send everybody over. Now Infuse decide, hey, we're going back to A. Literally all that happened, nothing changed in these setups. All that happened was 25 seconds have gone by. They're all back to the exact same place they were in.
That is so smart by Infuse, though. I mean, they literally fooled them. They played those mind games and made them think they were going for the rotation, and now they back off. And there is the opportunity to defuse this, and Orbit just going to run straight in there and get a very, very easy defuse.
And why was that so easy? Because of the lack of information of where Orbit were, Marky B actually couldn't plant that in the exact place he wanted to. He was just laying behind cover right there, getting the defuse. Look, multiple players were there for Infuse to try to kill him off that bomb. But because he was behind the cover, all they could see was his foot.
Yeah.
And that makes that scenario a little bit tougher. They didn't stretch it far enough out, and they're punished because of it right there.
It's always risk versus reward that. You want to plant it in an open area, but it's dangerous to do so. But it's so easy to defend once the bomb goes down.
I see, this is a play I like from Orbit now. This is the exact play I wanted to see. They're going to use this active camo, and look, smart by Marky to run away, but he goes back to challenge. First blood. This is the spot you wanted to plant in earlier on if you were an Infused fan. There is no way you're stretching that from around the corner.
Well, Joe does have payload in hand. Probably not going to utilize it on this particular round. But yes, that bomb site this is surely Orbit's round.
I mean, I just don't see how they wind up losing this unless they somehow let these kills come in favor of Infused. Traded back and forth. Nope, in the end. Orbit do win it, 4-3 now, as they take the round lead.
Yeah, and you could just, there was a little bit of a moment of panic as PD threw himself in there, some shaky shooting from Orbit, but they just had the pinch.
Yep. Urban pushing from that tunnel area, does clean up a few kills there. So, I said I liked the Orbit play right there. They use their payload ability, secure an easy first blood, because you know every single round Infused have sent a player towards that A to try to defend by themselves.
Well, let's see what's going to happen here as every single player is going towards that B bomb site. Apart from Marky B, who's just holding back.
This is going to be a very fast round.
It is, yes. Oh, and bomb carrier does go down for Infuse. PD's down as well. Moose is down. And Marky is down. And that is, you were spot on, Jack. That was the quickest round of search and destroy I think we've seen.
It's super easy to read on the minimap right there. Why did I say that was going to happen? Infused were going over, and they took the long route to not show that they were going towards B, where you go all the way through the back of the spawn. Meanwhile, Orbit cut right across middle, and they send 3 players towards the wall run immediately and have 1 challenge towards that side crates area. Everyone wins their one-on-one gunfights. Orbit right now are the shot callers, are dictating the pace of this game even with this push right here, this is the timing window that we've seen multiple times this weekend. Payload usage in favor of Orbit 100% on this map.
Yeah, and you can see them now again just rotating, and that was brilliant use of overdrive. PT had absolutely no idea that he was going to be there.
And what's ironic enough about that is typically the timing you get is to catch a player while they're running through there. That player actually lays down to watch you and still has no idea what's about to happen. Now a 4v2 for Orbit, everything falling apart for Infused. As now, all Orbit need to do, play for an objective plant, stay active on the map, and make sure no ninjas can happen, and they will go ahead and tie up the series 1-1.
All right, well, you can see Moose and Knowlton buddying up here. It's going to take something special to pull this one out of the bag. Moose goes down, all up to Knowlton. He's not going to find one. It's going to be 6-3 to Orbit as they get a map back and tie the series up 1-1. They were pretty dominating, to be honest, in that Search and Destroy.
That was a very impressive map from Orbit. Their shot calling, their ability to realize exactly where the side of Infused were going to play and what their setup was and adapt as the game goes on. And then, as you saw, on offense, they wind up winning, I think, 3 offensive rounds just strictly off of their first bloods from payload abilities. Yeah. A sign of a team with great leadership as well as shot calling ability.
I just loved bringing up that minimap and just seeing things going on with there, because you could see how clever and how smart Orbit were in the way that they were playing. You know, even when they went for a double bluff, they went right back to their own spawn and let them go rotate around the whole map twice.
We heard from Rated, the self-proclaimed best S&D player this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. He says there he goes 9-5 with 3 plants. Beautiful stuff from Orbit as we begin to shift our focus now towards Precinct Uplink, which will be map 3.
Yeah, and Uplink on Precinct. We've seen a lot of this so far in this tournament, and it's going to be interesting to see how these two teams clash and go head-to-head with it. I mean, in terms of separating the two, how do you feel about this, Jack?
Oh, this map, we saw how close the last series was in the winner's bracket semifinal of the bottom half of this winner's bracket, where it goes down to an overtime where a score is had in the first 17 seconds.
Yeah. And
I'm hoping it's the same here.
I mean, in pool play, we saw huge numbers being put up by these dominating teams, and you know there were 19-0 victories. There were just ridiculous scores. This isn't going to be the case between these two.
You know, Rel, that's a sign of a great caster right there. That's analysis what you just did.
Oh my God,
this is
taken 6 years.
This is not going to be a 19-0 game. You're right. You are very right. Wow. It's taken 6 years. Did you just say?
Taken 6 years, but
wow. And think that shows your character arc. In your final event casting, as you've said, you've now predicted something.
Wow. And I didn't even sit on the fence either.
You didn't. This is groundbreaking stuff. I can't wait to see it at your next event, because it's definitely going to happen. I know for a fact, Bryce, he will not let you not be at the next. He will come kidnap you and bring you to the next event that you're going to be casting at.
That really would not surprise me.
Trust me, it's going to happen. There's a trophy that teams are going to be earning today, the winning squad, alongside the biggest purse, the $25,000 prize pool. If you're just tuning into competitive Call of Duty for the first time, this is European COD. To some North American teams, they don't think very highly of it. This weekend, though, we've seen some good gameplay from the elite teams out here. These guys are going to be going up on the international stage in just a couple short weeks at the MLG Atlanta Open. For now, though, they have a title in mind, and that's here at the CWL London Invitational presented by the PS4. We're going into Game 3, tied up 1-1. Rel, who wins this match?
I am saying Infused to say this.
Woohoo! Okay.
But it's so difficult to call. I mean, both of these teams very, very strong on their uplink game. But I mean, as you were saying, this is a good opportunity for some top American teams to actually get a bit of intel. Infuse and Orbit are, two of the best that Europe has to offer.
Yeah, the only intel North American teams have gotten from European teams in uplink this weekend has been how to not throw the drone.
Yeah,
that's
very true.
They have been abysmal.
Yeah, it's not been great, and it's always surprising to see it happen so frequently. I mean, we talk about it, and when you think about it statistically, you could probably forgive them if 1 in every 10 throws was a failure, but it literally seems like 50% of the time they are missing.
50% of the time, it works every time. Let's get to the game. Orbit versus Infused. We're again watching Zero off the break. The last respawn game mode took over for his team, but it wasn't enough in the end. Now, though, they've gained back some momentum, and off the break of this game, it's just grenades flying everywhere.
Yep, and PT straight in there now, opening up with, it's going to be Knowlton who cleans up with him, does get the assist, though, now, and things really opening up on this top avenue. It's going to be up to Rated to shut this down, and he goes down.
He does go down, but he did buy enough time for his teammates to come from that back alley area, and PD knows it, so he's going to have to drop back, try to see if he can find a new lead blocker. Oh, wait, what?
My goodness.
What? Oh, intercepted. The drone, though, still there. It's going to work out to be a dunk for PD. An extremely awkward scenario that actually works out for Infused.
Wow. And you did not see 2 points coming out of that at all.
Well, you heard me say he's going to wait for his lead blocker. I didn't think the player sitting in the top station window right there where PD just was going to get killed that quickly by the player. But you know what? He had an NV4 coming from bottom middle map.
Yeah.
Precise shots where he could only see the head of the player peeking out of there. Beautiful stuff. I believe that was Nolson that made that dunk possible alongside PD as Infused come out to an early lead.
Well, Rated was trying to just reset that drone as well. Manages to just get it back in that central area. Let's have a look and see what's going to happen. Joe does go down here as well, and things open up once more for Infused.
They've got lobby control, which so far in this map, Infused have locked this down, which is why you haven't seen Orbit really get much play with the drone as of yet. PD needs to figure out exactly where his teammates want to push this, because right now there's nobody dead on Orbit. Once they get that kill back station, you're going to see all the red arrows begin to push towards this side. PD does get around the corner in time. Marky B gets a kill, as well as Moose, but Urban on the flank, the two-piece should be enough. But no, his teammate does die, and now he'll go ahead, push in for this free dunk.
It's got to be two. There we go. It does go in. Marky B with the follow-up kill as well, just wreaking havoc in the original spawn of Orbit. And they could be actually trying to get a bit of a relay going. Pass may come in.
Positive 10 now in the slang in just 2 minutes of gameplay. 11, sorry. For Infused, that is why you have yet to see any sort of offensive pressure from Orbit. They have been pinned in their base. So even like, for example, right here, they get 3 kills in their spawn. Infused are going to have enough time to not only come up, but challenge back towards lobby and stop any sort of pressure from coming in towards their base. It's this wave of kills right here that Orbit have failed to get so far this map. There's the entry. Can they follow up off of it?
Let's see if something can happen with this Scarab. Oh, it could be a big one, but Blast Shield denies that kill. Joe is in control, though, and Orbit need to produce something here. Infused currently 5-0 up, and Orbit really haven't shown much.
And remember I talked about that wave of kills from middle map? There it is, 3-piece, dunk to follow up. Not exactly sure why Moose was playing so far back there. Did he have something called in? I'm not entirely sure. Instead, though, that'll be a free dunk for Orbit as they finally get kills in middle, and they're doing it again here. This is another scoring opportunity.
Very, very nice movement there from Zero, but
that's a dunk.
Down. And that is going to be another for Urban. Oh, no. Why did he throw it? All Infused were down.
Maybe didn't think they spawned out towards that bottom statue area. This could actually come back to bite Orbit, because now you've got a player all the way in the opposing team's base, Rated doing all he can to stay alive. Moose with the kill. Joe turns around the corner and doesn't actually see where the player is. The botched 1-point toss, though, from Marky B and crew as they go for something a little bit more of a different throw over that top station building. Doesn't work out for him there.
I just don't understand why he threw it. He was within inches of getting a 2-point capture with full armor.
There is some times where there can be a spawn right in this back stairwell where maybe he was a little worried the player was going to be right in that corner. Could go for a body block. Beautiful streak from PD to actually stop that scoring opportunity. Joe, the last player here for Orbit, as he tries to make a play happen. Not going to work out this time around. But yeah, back to what we were talking about, why he went for the throw instead of the dunk. I'd actually love to hear from his perspective what the communications were like, as that was just a weird scenario.
Yeah, and maybe we'll hear a bit about that in the post-game interview, depending on who takes this victory. Nolson finding 2, opening things up, and again, it is Infused that capture another 2 points.
Marky B is the key player here. If we could switch on over to him, he's trying to stay alive near this white truck area. If he does, he's going to force a spawn still in back alley. Does get killed off, but he's got a teammate here, your top ticket. Did PD know it? Didn't look like he was prepared for that. He was trying to watch over his teammate in back alley, and out of nowhere, a drone lands in his hands. And he's not in a position to go for a throw. He misses the 1-point play twice now for Infused, where they have missed out on a point opportunity.
Yeah, and you just don't know if it's communication or what it is that's breaking down. Fortunately for them, though, they do still have quite a notable lead here, 7-3. Just about time left on this clock for one final push, and it's going to be by Orbit. Yeah. That's Urban and Rated, the only 2 alive.
They might be able to go for a 1-point throw over the apartment buildings, but no, this one is done. 7-3, the lead at the half for Infused. It's very strong, don't get me wrong. They have looked very solid. Their slaying presence at the start of that half was brilliant. But you got to say there were a couple of botched offensive routes that they took that you definitely know they want it back.
Yeah, I've got to say they almost seem quite fortunate in a way, Infused, to be up on this. And there's been a few mistakes that have been made for either team. But still, both bringing a good game here. Infuse certainly excelling in the slaying department. It's actually Zero who's having a tough time.
Our key player matchup at the start of the series was Zero and Moose. Look where they currently stand. Moose 17 and 8, Zero 5 and 12. Maybe a big reason why Orbit do find themselves down by 2 possessions in this game. Again, lobby control over to Moose and crew. He just doesn't seem to lose 1v1 engagements.
Yeah, this really does seem to be the difference.
Okay.
Look at that, Moose again.
Okay.
Having a storming game. 19 and 9 does go down there. Does have score streak unlocked. It's pushed now by Nolson.
Nolson's going to drop the drone there, just try to stay alive, reset his armor. And now he'll actually be the lead blocker for PD. Don't know if anything's going to actually develop off of this. If he can hit this high wall run, throw it over the apartment building, maybe a 1-point play. Nope, not going to happen. It will reset.
Unfortunate there for PT. Gave it his best shot. Let's see what's going to happen now for Moose. Still 20 and 10. An incredible performance for him so far in this game.
Definitely an incredible performance for him so far this entire weekend.
Yeah.
As 3 do go down on Orbit. Nolson will just grab this drone to try to stall out time because he didn't have much of a presence in lobby from the rest of his team. You saw he was going for that over the apartment throw. Doesn't happen there as the drone will reset towards lobby. This time it's Marky B trying to develop a play towards this back park area.
Yeah, and you said Marky B was causing all kinds of trouble, just trying to force the spawn of Orbit and get a relay set up. He's a great tactician, is Marky.
That was a little bit awkward for PD right there. Marky thought he was going to get the kill traded out much quicker than that, and it doesn't actually happen. So instead of being able to go for a drone opportunity with overdrive, they now have to wait things on out. Rewind used it. Boots does wind up losing that engagement. Not sure how much it meant in the actual scheme of things, though, as Infused still don't have enough pressure as of yet to get this drone forward. Now they do.
Yeah.
Now they do.
Zero and Urban, fortunately, there managed to clean up 2 and actually Orbit find the way out of what was a sticky situation. Moose with that drone beside him, and he does lose it to Joe.
So there's that spot I was talking about, right near that back apartment stair. Look at how fast Orbit come off their base, go for the interception, and what you thought was going to be a 2-point play maybe, instead is an interception and a reset of the drone.
Well, Marky does have control of it now. He's taking it back to the original spawning point as they push right through the middle map. It's actually going to be Moose who's going to try and find some entry kills if they want to find their way to the uplink center.
More importantly, you have this overdrive available, which many would regard as a free dunk if used correctly. Camo, as well as overdrive, will both be earned by Rated and Joe with enough time left to make an impact inside 2. Beautiful pass with the dunk as well from PD. He'll pop the reactive. Now a 3-possession game. You still have overdrive ready from RTB. This might wind up being the dagger as this game closes on out.
Yeah, Marky finding 20 kills himself now, and this is looking quite a convincing performance from Infuse. PT does have that drone in hand. They're still wanting to take this lead even further. A lot of time left on the clock. PD didn't get the opportunity to go for the throw.
Every single player on Infuse positive right now. They're in full command of the slang of the drone, and the long-range throw hits off the roof right there. So it'll remain a 3-possession game either way with only 1 minute and 36 seconds left. Orbit have to triple their score. They've got Moose now on a 7 streak. I mean, I think this guy's got a 7 streak every respawn I've seen him play this weekend.
Yeah, Orbit just needs to start going for some 2-point carry captures. Throws aren't going to cut it with this amount of time left on the clock. Big score streaks coming in from Infuse, though. They're just looking to close this one out now. 9 and 3, with just over a minute of gameplay left.
Look at the minimap. Where is Moose right now? He's somehow in the spawn of Orbit. He's claimed this portal as his own.
Wow.
And now they're going to move forward with the drone. He's still on a 10 streak. They've now got overdrive popped 11 to 3. This one's done. Infused, proving that they are, in this series at least, the better uplink team.
Oh, yeah. And
just go to Moose. This is the only thing I want to see now.
Let's have a look, see what he can do here. 3 right in front of him.
Oh, no. Of course we have to show that, huh? Caster curse.
That could have been huge. But as you say, I don't think much is going to really matter here. With only 40 seconds left, 11 and 3. And Marky B is just going to hold on to this uplink drone and see this game out.
Positive 24 is Infused right now in slaying. Kills are not everything, but they are everything. You can quote that. You can put that on a shirt.
Jack Dunlop. 29th of January.
50% of the time it works every time is how I started this map too. So don't really know where I'm going with these quotes, but that's going to be GG. Infused will take the series lead 2-1, and we'll go back to another hard point where they looked lights out earlier on in this series. Rel, You thought this would go to a game 5, though, correct?
Yeah, that was my prediction, and purely because of how good both of these teams are. They're a great matchup against each other. That was a fairly one-sided game, in all honesty. The initial parts were towards Infused. As it went towards the mid-game, Orbit really kind of got back into it a little bit, but Infused just completely outclassed them towards the end, and they were just getting points for days.
Infused outclassed them from the first minute to the last. I mean, this is the team that got the 2 dunks in 90 seconds. They were outslaying by 10 kills by the halfway mark of side 1, and they didn't look back. 11-3, the final score on that map, as we'll take a look at our scoreboard. PD 30-24, but look at Moose, man. 34-17, a 2.0 KD. The guy is just untouchable.
Considering what his style of play used to be like, you wouldn't have thought that he would be as good as he is on Infinite Warfare with so much movement. And as we say, it's a completely different game. But here we go, putting up huge figures and making things look very easy against the best that Europe has to offer.
And we get to go to Retaliation, my favorite hardpoint map. Oh, gosh. Now, I actually don't know where to call this. I do not know where to call this, because you've seen brilliant moments from both of these teams throughout the series. Orbit look beautiful in Search and Destroy, and you know that that is in the minds of Infused. They do not want to let get back to that game mode that they just really picked
yesterday. 15 kill streak.
Yep.
And we heard a few people saying before, the only thing that's got them this far is individual performances within the team rather than the team itself working well together.
I thought you were going to say it's Petey's beard. Because that's been a hot topic apparently in the EU Call of Duty scene.
Yeah, he's looks different. He looks very different to the way I remember it.
That actually does happen when you go from not having a beard to having a beard.
That's very true. But yeah, nevertheless, Infused individual performances have been quite apparent throughout this tournament. And as we say, a lot of people saying that's the reason they're at this point.
Now, is this realistic, though, to expect these insane individual performances to keep up as the year goes on? For example, MLG Vegas, Facento, your MVP for Rise Nation as they took that title. He had his best event arguably of all time. But the big question that's been remaining in the North American Call of Duty scene is, can he do that again? Yeah. Can Moose keep this up outside of this event and just do it against North American teams, do it at the other EU events that are going to go on this year, or is this just a one-time thing for you?
I mean, I don't know, man. It's difficult to call, because in terms of online performances, he's been strong there as well. I think it's the way that he works with this new